Hello, this is a quick tutorial on Loocey's latest version of DLA Dibbs specific software CRM. And today we'll go over the CRM features again when it comes to DLA Dibbs. A quick context: Loocey is a really comprehensive tool built for businesses to manage the entire process. You can manage it. You can use it to manage your business process, CRM features, and so on. So it's got a lot of advanced features, and I'll try to show you a couple of those in this demo. But for the most part, in today's demo, we'll cover DLA Dibbs specific CRM module that we have built on top of Loocey. So let's get started. So besides CRM, we actually integrate with DLA Dibbs data. So when you sign up, you actually will get research features as well. We'll do more videos to cover the research features here, but just so you understand, if you log in here, you go on the bottom section here is the research features, and if you go, the RFQs are pulled in on a daily basis, and we actually parse out the PDF. We show you a bunch of different data, including a lot of the different flags, JCP, ISO, COTS, is it a off-the-shelf item, and so on. For beginners, I think this is a really important flag to have. And then, if you click on any of the NSNs, it'll actually pop up a window to show you more info, including the approved parts, history, and so on. You can also click on the cage code to see the company associated with that, and so on, right? Again, I'm not going to spend too much time covering the research. We'll do more videos to cover that. And you could use this. You could also use any other research tools, or including Dibbs directly. But what's nice with this CRM that's built for Dibbs is that you can come here and copy the entire data to your CRM with the click of a button, right? We want to, again, the whole point of Loocey is to save you as much time as possible. So that's what we're trying to do. And I'll show you one other feature because it is a new feature. So when I show that quickly, we've added these advanced filter features now. So you could technically now filter with multiple columns. Let's say you want to, have text to be false. So, or take text to true. I think we're gonna fix that so it doesn't do a validation. So if I do this, right, I hit apply, I should only see take text, the solicitations without take text, right? But let's say I only want to see, for example, the ones with the commercial off-the-shelf items. I can also add another filter to say, and cost filter is actually true, right? And if I hit apply, the save feature, we're working on it, will actually release it to users as well. So now you have basically you see everything that's got commercial off-the-shelf items, and tech tags is false, right? But anyway, let's get to the CRM features. So let's kind of quickly overview on the research part. But what's nice is that you can come here, you can type in NSN, or you can copy paste your solicitation, copy paste search, and again, you could do your research anywhere else. You can just come here, find your solicitation, and we have a nice feature. So when you check this off, this thing pops up, and we have under these dots, we have this copy to bidding board feature. Okay, when you click on this thing pops up. You can say copy the data over. So it's going to copy all the information from that solicitation, including the approved parts, approved suppliers, and so on, and it's going to place it inside your CRM. So once you copy over, it actually copies to your bidding board along with all the information here. But let's first understand that the left side and some of the other features we have before going into the actual bid. So on the left, we have inventory and suppliers, and this has been built that basically we link everything together, including the products. Let's understand how it works. So when you copy over a specific solicitation, it also copies over the associated approved sources along with all of that information, including the website, email, and so on. And we have most of them built out in our research here library as well. But in case they're missing, at least it'll copy over the name and other details. The rest you can find out. But what's nice is that once you go into any of these, It also copies over the actual product. Remember how we copied this NSN? It copies over the actual product and adds it to inventory of this company, of this supplier, so that now when you go into a specific supplier, you'll see all the products that they have. By the way, you can add manually. If you call this company and they sell other NSNs, you can come here and add more NSNs. You can just add a line here, put the NSN and select the product. Again, everything is linked. The whole point of the system is you link everything together, so at the end I'll show you how it makes everything much more easier to work with. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this line. But the other nice thing is when you call up this company or email them, you can add additional details like the quantity they have, in last unit price they gave you, and so on. So you have kind of a understanding of what's going on with the supplier, right? In addition, we also have this notes tab that you can use to basically take notes on the supplier and see what's going on. Maybe remember how we have, and I don't know if I've shown this in this video, but we actually have a relationship status for the suppliers as well. It's kind of like status column. And what you want to do even before starting bid, if you were just starting with DLA, even before starting to bid on these things, you want to make sure you open an account with them. And sometimes there's a process that you go through to open an account with the supplier or distributor or manufacturer, right? So we gave you some default statuses, but you can always edit this, add your own, change colors, change the order, and so on. So Loocey is super flexible system, right? The other thing I want to show you, so you can basically save these changes, right, depending on where the status is with this company, or you can say account open and so on. And what's nice is that once you open an account, you can put your account number in here. Eventually, we're gonna use this data to pre-populate email templates for you, so you can send out the quote requests. Okay, so everything is gonna tie together once you have this system put in place. The other thing I want to show you is, like I showed you, we have the inventory which actually maps to products. But let's say we want the opposite, right? Let's say you have 10, 20 NSNs you want to bid on. And by the way, we have statuses for the products as well. In case you want to keep track of what's going on with the specific NSN, you can. Same thing here. And again, Loocey is super flexible. If you wanted to add another column, you can add a column. We have all kinds of columns. Again, it's going to be a lot more, videos, tutorials on Loocey core platform, which is why I said initially that Loocey has been built on a really comprehensive and flexible platform that allows you to do all kinds of things, including adding columns. Like if I wanted to add a date column here, I can, right? I can add a column here. And now going forward, I'll have my column here. And again, the CRM is meant for your company only. No one else sees this. All the changes you make are for your company only. So it's really flexible for you to basically come here and do all kinds of changes, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this column. You can, and get back to what I was just saying is that once you know which NSNs you wanna bid on, you can come here and add those up as well. And what's nice is that, remember we added this one, I think. If you go into a specific NSN, it'll show you the opposite. Because we have everything linked, it'll show you the opposite. It'll show you all the suppliers that have that NSN, okay? And I'll show you in a minute why that's such a nice thing. Again, you can take notes on the products level as well, right? This notes is a global kind of feature. On any component, you can take notes, right? But let's see what happened when we go to the bidding board and go into that specific item. Okay, when you come here, let me explain what's going on here. So we have a few different tabs, right? We have our stats tracker on top, and I'll show you how that works. And then we have all of our data in the front of us, so we can make informed decisions, right? So let's see what's going on with these tabs. So the first tab is really the important tab. We supplier quotes, right? So as you know, when we copied that solicitation over to our board, it copied over the approved part suppliers as well, right? By the way, you can add contacts to them and select a specific contact, and that's going to be important because eventually you want, when you speak with these companies, you want to create a relationship with one or two sales reps, right? So you can always send them your codes. So it's important to add your contacts to those suppliers as well. But besides that, basically, the system is smart enough to know, hey, for this NSN, which we have, by the way, for this NSN, basically, this is the NSN here. The system is smart enough to know, hey, for that NSN, we have two suppliers listed. It copied them over for you here. It copied the quantity, right? Basically, the idea is eventually this part, it doesn't work yet, but we're working on it. You can select them and say, hey, get email templates. This is where I was talking about. It's important to have your account number and so on in the supplier list, because these email templates would automatically pull in the data for your company along with solicitation information such as the part number and NSN and so on, and create a template sort of like similar to this one. This is kind of an example. It's not fully done yet, but this is one example of an email template here. Basically, the whole idea is you get these templates, right, with pre-populated data that's coming from the solicitation and your account details, and then so you can send over those emails. By the way, we will have email integration soon as well, hopefully in a couple of months, so that you don't have to manually send those emails. The system will, you can check off and send those emails. But in the meantime, we want to create a way for you to create, get these templates pre-populated with your data. So it'll be basically super easy to send out these code requests. So why I'm spending this much time on this one is because the codes, right? If you're just starting with DLA Dibbs, having these supplier codes sent out via email is really important, because this is how you decide which supplier you want to buy from, and then they basically come back to you with codes. Usually they in a PDF format that you can eventually add them here. By the way, when you get the codes back, we will have upload feature soon that you can upload the file. But in the meantime, what we want you to do is basically put those PDFs inside Google Drive or some other drive, and then get the link and put the link here. By the way, when you put the link here, let's say you got it from Google Drive, you put the link here, it'll basically save us a link so that every time you come here, you can click and see what code they give you, right? So it's really important to have that link in here. The other part, remember, these two suppliers were copied over from our research data here that comes from Dibbs. We have a daily import actually that's going on from Dibbs. But I want to show you one more thing before we move on to the other tabs. So remember how we have two suppliers, right? And this is the NSN here. Okay. So let's say you found out there's other suppliers for that NSN, or you have a relationship with someone else. What you want to do here is that you come here to the suppliers, and I'll show you why this is a really fun feature to have. Let's say you add your new supplier, my new supplier, right? Okay, if I can type, right? So it's added here. When I go into the details of this supplier, what I want to do is I want to actually add that NSN, so it maps to this supplier, that product. It could be any product number that they have, right? And then I want to make sure I map the same product for this supplier, okay? Now this product is being mapped to my new supplier as well, right? And we're gonna go back to our bidding board here. I'm actually gonna go ahead and delete this solicitation. By the way, when you delete this line here, it's not gonna delete the suppliers, it's only gonna delete this bid line. So if I go back to my suppliers, I'll have all the other suppliers along with the new one I created, right? And what's fun now is that anytime now going forward, when I find another solicitation with .nsn, and for this example, I'm going to use the same one, and I'm going to copy to my board again. It's going to be smart enough to know, hey, you have another supplier that's got a link to .nsn, and it's going to automatically copy the details of the supplier and place it inside your codes table here. See, the new supplier came in as well. And it's really, I think, a good feature, because a lot of times the default approved service suppliers may not be the ones that you actually do business with. So as long as you basically do the mapping and create your suppliers in the supplier list to do the mapping with the product, they will come here, right? So like it's actually now that we have the supplier here, let's move on. Again, I'm not going to spend some time on the subcontractor codes, but it's the same idea. If you have subcontractors, you basically place them here, get codes as well. Now, let's say you got codes from all of them and you want to go with my new supplier, right? They're the ones that gave you the best code for this product, right? And you can come here and say, hey, I'm going to select my new supplier. And then they gave me $25, 22, right? And now it's going to calculate the cost for you and also calculate the top stats here. Notice I haven't put any margin in, so it says, hey, you know, basically the bid price is 0, so you're actually negative profit, right? So I'm gonna say, hey, I want to make 20% on this deal. So it's gonna calculate and tell me, hey, this is gonna be my bid price, this is the unit price, this is my margin, this is gonna be my profit based on the quantity and so on, right? But what's nice is that, let's say this supplier doesn't have all the quantity. Let's say you had to add another line here, or if there was a second purchase order, you could do that and say, hey, I want to make sure I get the same product, so I'll copy paste same product here. If I can select, okay, same NSN, and let's say it was some other supplier, right? Doesn't have to be the same one. I can say, hey, maybe they have the 30 units, and then 9 units I had to get from the second supplier, and the second part in the price was $27, right? This one, because the cost is higher, right? I'm gonna go ahead actually and make 25% on this one. Okay. Again, it's gonna calculate everything for me, show me the total, show me everything again on top here. See my total quantity is still 39. This is my bid price, this is my profit. So far so good. So next, let's say you actually have services as well, because you might be paying for shipping, you might be paying for labor, right? So you could add services. By the way, I have, for example, added a few services here, right? You can add your own, as many as you want, shipping cost, the labor cost, and so on. And what's nice is that when you add those there, they're gonna come up in the drop-down box. When I go into the service details here, add a new service line, I can select it from a drop-down, right? So I'm gonna, let's say I'm paying shipping for this. I'll say 1 unit. I might rate is, let's say they're charging me $50, right? It's gonna calculate. Notice how it deducts because my cost total went up. By the way, this is the most common issue I see with beginner DLA contractors, is that they don't account for any other costs associated with shipping to DLA, like packaging, labor, shipping, all that. So they end up being with negative, right? I've seen at least 5 examples now where people bid, underbid stuff, and then they can't deliver because the cost is actually not just the product cost, right? So that's why it's really important to calculate all of your cost and know what the bid price should be while you still make profit. Remember, and here's, I also have a margin, because what if something changes, or I have to use a bigger box or something. So just for a backup, I also add 25% margin for my shipping cost here. Again, it's up to you if you want to do that or not. And it's gonna basically, again, calculate my margin. It's gonna calculate my profit and put everything in front of me, right? And again, files here work the same way. You can add links to Google Drive files, but again, in a month or so, we'll have actually upload feature. You can upload the files here, but in the meantime, you can put the links here, so you have one-click access to all the files. It's really important, because when DLA asks for traceability or other documentation, you have everything as part of this package, right? It's here. It's always here for you to access them. Notes works the same way. You can come here, take notes, right? By the way, you can change the status from here. Let's say it's in progress, right? Still working on it. So whatever you want to say, when you have a team of people working on it, it'll show the name who made the note and so on. So it's really user friendly as well. that's kind of it. I know, again, email templates are coming, email integration is coming soon as well, but in the meantime, you can at least use, I wanted to show you one more thing and then we'll wrap this video. So now we have three solicitations here. One is in progress too. So for last bids, I also what I like to do is actually create a filter for my last bids, right? So I have created one here, but basically you can come here, you can add a filter. Let's say you want to use my bid status, right? And I want to say I want to filter the last ones or whichever ones, right? And then this is going to show me all the last ones. It's important because you might want to keep track of the last ones and see why you lost them, right? Was it because of the price, or was it because of the something else? You can create these views, like I have this last bids view here, and what I can do is I can let's say hide all the columns. I want to only add award stuff, right? Award total. Again, I have these columns pre-built here. It's up to you. Want to keep them, you can delete them, but what's nice is that this is a calculation price. I think that's where it's come when I fix this bug. But what I also want to do is basically add maybe a column that says, hey, last reason. And I'm gonna make that a long text column, let's say, right? So for reporting purposes, at the end of the month, I might want to go check all of my lost deals and see why I lost them. Maybe I can also drag and drop and fix the column ordering, right? I can do and say, hey, lost because of price, whatever, right? So by the way, this NSN is still linked to the research NSN, so you can always click on it and view the history and so on. So it's, I think this one doesn't have history, but usually most of them do. That's it for this video. Sorry if it took kind of longer. I wanted to keep it short, but be sure to subscribe to our channel. We are planning on doing a lot more videos. Thanks again for watching.